good race, buddy.
I didn't realise that was for position.
Yeah, did you not look on the wheel?
No, I forgot.
The gap.
Welcome to this episode of Racing Dean, brought to you from Daytona Milton Keynes. We'll be racing in the DMAX karts, which are 125cc Rotax powered karts, similar to the Club 100 machines. And this will be the first time that I'd come to this track. We're doing the D40 event, which is 10 minutes qualifying, followed by a 40-minute race, which is a great value for money. And I'm with a couple of friends, Greg, whose camera you'll see periodically, and around about 10 other people. This chap in front, he said he'd done thousands of laps at this circuit, and this would be my first time. So I'd taken the time to learn the track before by watching clips from Wolmid, Sam Dimolo, and also from Brad Philpott, as well as some other clips that I found on the internet. Still warming up the tyres at this point, but as you will hear when I come onto the main straight, I wasn't actually happy with the performance of this kart. So I didn't reach maximum revs there, and you can see Greg behind me. He really made up some distance there. So I decided to box my kart in favour of a new one.
It's not revving all the way, it's cutting out at the top end. I don't know if that's how they are, but it feels like it's cutting out. Yeah.
If you've seen my other Daytona video, you know this happened to me before. So they are cognizant that some of the karts aren't as quick as the others. Here you can see me just adjusting the pedals. I'm 6'1", so I need the pedals as far forward as they go. And I'm onto the new kart.
Yep.
So if you're watching this video and you've seen the thumbnail, you'll see that it says dry, wet, damp. So I'm behind another friend here, Francesco, and I've got cold tyres, but I've got a bit more pace than him. But you'll see that I tried to get past him a few times, but I kind of don't judge it well. And you get past him a few times, but then lose that position back a few times, mainly because I haven't been able to slow down the kart quite enough. It's a very narrow track here at Daytona Milton Keynes. It's really long, it's really cool because you've got quite a lot of gradient change. We start going downhill as we come into this hairpin. There's just sort of kind of crest, and then we go down. You can see that I've lost traction here. So you've got some tight infill bits, but then you've also got some fast corners and some double apex corners. This is a double apex corner where you try to hit that last apex. We're coming into another sweeping corner that gets tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter, and you get that second apex there. Then you've got a tight hairpin. This would be really tricky in the wet, and then you go downhill. Down, down, down into a fairly heavy braking spot that takes you onto the back straight, but you can use that flat bit of curb there. And then you've got this really long straight, so it's super important to have momentum coming onto this straight, and then a fast sweeping left corner. And this would also prove tricky in the wet because that corner, the long bit, dried faster, so you'd be carrying more and more speed but then have to scrub it off more and more into that hairpin, which did catch me out once or twice. So lots of intricacies on this track. Look how much space I've lost there just from going a bit too deep into that corner. I'm still learning the track myself, to be fair, so still getting to grips with it. Tyres are probably where they need to be now as well, but I'm also cognizant that I'm qualifying and I've not really had a good lap yet. My first kart wasn't fast, and then so far I've been a little bit limited in my pace by the kart in front here, so it's all about getting in a good lap for that first qualifying session. So there we go, faster through the corner and faster onto the straight. And I've got the inside, so I'm going to stick to it. Drift wide, not too wide actually, do an okay job of that corner. And now I've basically got a lap or two to get in this good qualifying lap. So pretty much flat out through that corner. Lots of curb on the inside here, nibble that curb there, get back on the right hand side. Now you want to be on that concrete, so I was a tiny bit wider than I needed to be there. This is again a corner where you kind of start on the outside and then come back. I've actually gone a bit sideways there, so didn't do a great job through that corner on reflection. A little bit of braking here, take that second apex, nice. Heavy braking again, slightly late apex there. Can use just that kind of ramp on the outside to stop you from sliding, so I was doing that a bit. And then brake under control here, cut across that concrete, could have been tighter there. Big run onto this long back straight. Fully commit into the left-hander. Hit the brakes. Not great through that corner, to be honest. And then we're going to turn in from the pit lane almost. Nibble that concrete and get across the line, and this would be my fastest qualifying lap. I think it was a 69 second lap, which would put me in 4th position.
So it's really slippery and it's very narrow.
So as you can see, it's wet. It has rained in the time between finishing the race and being gridded up for the final. Greg, his kart broke, so he needed a new kart, so he's just going to get in his new machine.
Yeah, big steering before you think you need to turn.
Gridded up. Not everyone here has driven in the wet before. We're on slick tyres. Bit of advice about turning in hard and then using the brake and the accelerator to get that extra rotation. So here we are with Greg, he's in 3rd place, I'm on the right hand side of this shot. We are instructed to keep a kart's length, and away we go. Now Greg goes really wide, which lets me go through into 3rd place. Another crash, so now we are up to 2nd with Greg in 3rd place now. Now it wasn't wet during the qualifying, so it's a bit of a learning experience for all of us about where is the grip, and you will see that in a couple of places I've actually misjudged it entirely and luckily touched the tyres kind of sideways rather than head on. Do that a few times on this first lap, so I've not judged these conditions very well at all. Hit the tyres again there, God, a bit clumsy to be honest. No grip here at all. And these trees are funny in the rain because they quite often keep the moisture under the trees, and especially when the sun comes out, if you're in the shade because of the trees, you get the track drying out at different times. So not in the shade, the track will dry out faster, but under the trees it can stay wet. And that would be the case of the next 40 minutes, even though it doesn't rain anymore, bits of the track will never get dry. So big mistake there from me, back it into the tyres. And you can see Greg's got me parked in the wall. He takes second place. So I've got past, 2 drivers got past me through that crash, but luckily I've managed to get past one of them. Still really having a hard time finding the grip. So is Greg. Greg spins, and that gives me an opportunity to get back into second place. I'm not going to play you all of this video. At different points I'm going to cut forward in time, but what I aim to do is give you a taster of all of the different conditions. So right now we're in the wettest of the wet, and you can see just managing to get the hang of that, kind of managing to string a better sequence of corners together. This is tricky and downhill, and you're not quite sure how much grip you're going to get on the front, probably slightly more than you think. This corner, still important to get that momentum onto the back straight, especially because you're going uphill. Yellow flag. Yellow flag's behind us, now we're back into racing conditions. Got a couple of karts in front. Another yellow flag, so hand goes up, signalling that we have to slow down. I'm not quite sure what happened there actually, but you can see the marshal just put his flag away, so that's the end of that yellow flag. And now we're in hot pursuit of Francesco and this other chap in front. So difficult to get on the power out of that corner, just really difficult to get any kind of traction whatsoever. Meanwhile, Greg has been called into the sin bin.
Right. Do you know what brought you in?
I think, did I overtake on the yellow flag?
You spun under a yellow, which means you're going way too quick. When did you see it?
I think I saw a car and I hit the brake.
And he got called in for driving too fast under yellows. So a bit of a slap wrist, 30-second penalty, and he's back in the game. Meanwhile, back on track, we can see that it's a bit drier now. So the sun is out, the sky is blue, and we're starting to put together a little bit faster lap times. You can hear the occasional screech of the tyres. That's a sure sign that the track is getting a bit grippier, probably getting a bit of temperature in the tyres. When it's wet, basically have no grip in the tyres whatsoever. No temperature in the tyres whatsoever. Now I've just hit pause here because this is the midpoint of the race, and you can see that I'm in second place and I've got a beautiful gap both in front and behind. Unfortunately in front is 40 seconds, but behind is also 40 seconds, and we're doing 1:22, which suggests that the track is starting to get a bit faster. So what could go wrong? This corner, grippy, but still a bit slippery coming into this hairpin, but more or less the dry line there. Going to keep it right up to the right hand side, getting that bit of concrete. That's flat curb, you can use it. Slippery under the trees again, so I'm going narrower than you would do in the extreme dry. Looking back at that footage, looks like I'm probably going a bit too wide into that corner, to be totally honest, so one to remember for next time. Still so tricky to get on the power. I go really wide that time as well. Yellow flag, there's the instant, we've got a spun driver. At this point I'm still in second place in the greater scheme of things, and the race leader, he's managed to pull out around about a 40-second lead. Now, some of that is definitely through pace and through not spinning. You know, I had that spin on the first lap. I think a little bit of it is to do with when the yellow flags fall as well. You can get a bit lucky with when you're stuck behind an accident and when you're not, but he did win fair and square in the end, so credit to that driver. Watching this back, I'm kind of wincing to myself how wide I'm going into that corner. It just seems a bit too wide. This corner also didn't get fully dry, so still trying to find the best way through there. And then this corner, just very tricky to get on the power. And you can see there that I'm trying too hard, I'm sideways, I'm up the hill. Coming down here, still brave, because you're going from the wet track to the dry track. I'm going to try and get a good run out of this corner. Looks like I've got the run on this guy. Tricky though, when am I going to catch him? Is it going to be before the corner? Yeah, looks like I've got him just coming into this left hand corner. And you want to stay all the way on the left here, and you can see that I drift a tiny bit wide, not too bad. Still quite slippery, quite oversteery coming into that corner. Here you want to use this concrete on the left, yeah, use it well, and all the track on the exit and coming into the lap. see on that lap I actually did a much better job of getting around the corner, and I think it's because I managed to get my wheels on that inside curb. So especially in the wet, if you can use those curbs to hook you into the corner, it really helps, and I think that was a good lap. Put that in the back pocket and use it for next time. Big mistake, I'm off in the tyres, and I've lost second place, though I actually didn't realise it. I'd kind of gone on to autopilot by this stage in the race, and I kind of just assumed that it was the guy in front and then I was in second and I had a good gap. But little did I know that the chap in third place was catching little by little, lap on lap, and he actually went past me. So I don't really realise that I'm in hot pursuit now, but I definitely am in hot pursuit, trying to get past second place. More than anything, I'm just pissed off that I put it in the tyre wall, but the track's still getting faster and I'm doing the best I can to catch up who would now be second. Much better through there. Good braking, bit wide on that corner, but this is second place, so I'm in third, he's in second. He told me after the race that he'd backed off because he didn't think I was going to catch him up. Yeah, I did. He's starting to look behind now, which normally means you are more susceptible to making mistakes. When you're thinking a bit more about what's behind than what's in front, you can make mistakes. He's looked again, so let's see what happens. He goes narrow, I go wide. He loses the back end a bit. He's looking behind, because probably where he was looking is where he turned his hands a bit, which is why he had that kick of oversteer. I'm now on the back straight, and I just kind of, at the moment, I'm just thinking, I'm just, in my own race, really, doing my own thing. I didn't really twig that I was actually racing for position. This would be the difference between finishing second and finishing third. So keep it nice and tidy into that corner, tiny bit wide, bit of oversteer. And I'm just going to take the normal racing line. But I drift wide on that corner, and he goes wide. And he knows he's in a race, and he takes it, and I finish third, and I was gutted because I just didn't realise that the place was up for grabs. So maybe I should have looked behind actually and not left the door open for him on that last corner. So small life lesson there: don't leave the door open on the last lap, and pay attention to the in-screen metrics on that kind of iPhone shaped thing in front of you, because it really does help. Great track, Daytona Milton Keynes. Will definitely go back there. Really look forward to going back. The circuit's got a bit of everything. Conditions today were perfect. It's dry, then it was wet, then it was damp, and then it was almost dry. In the end, I think I did a 1:14 in these damp conditions, whereas the qualifying lap was a 1:09. I reckon if I'd have had another lap in quali, I'd have probably been able to do a 1:08 or something like that. So. Feels like it was fairly competitive, and a good day had by all.
Yeah, did you not look on the wheel?
No, I forgot.
The gap.
Otherwise I'd have defended harder, I didn't realise.
I thought you were leaving me a nice gap in the last corner though.
Yeah.
I back whilst I overtook, but I was chasing you, I was watching the gap, I was coming down, and I was sorry when you binned it, because that's when I overtook.
Yeah. Yeah, I had quite. Do you see it on the grass? I had quite a big.
Here, when you binned it here, because I was chasing you down.
Yeah.
And then I backed off too much. I knew there was only 2 laps left.
Yeah.
And then suddenly you caught me up.
And you got a bit wonky coming out that last corner.
Yeah.
You wiped me out in a white car. I think it was you.
Oh yeah, sorry, I did wipe someone out. I'm sorry.
How'd you go?
Yeah, good.